Hi, I'm Kevin,
And I'm Amanda.
and we are serving up
All that jam.
All That Jam, Quick Hit. Adam Deitch on Russell Batiste.
For sure.
There you go. Did you know, were you friends with Russell Batiste?
I absolutely was friends with Russell Batiste. I wrote a little piece about my first time meeting him. I was in New Orleans and I was playing with the Average White Band. I was about 22 and we were playing the Superdome in New Orleans for Essence Festival. And I ended up going on a little walk on Bourbon Street and around town, and I ran into Russell. And I heard him from outside on the street. And I said, "This is the best drum I've ever heard." And from then, and he called me up on the stage because he had seen the Average White Band concert at the Superdome. He said, "Average White Band, come on up!" Like instantly invited me on stage. And I was like, "There's no way I could play after this guy." But he was saying like, "Come up, we'll both play at the same time. You could check out what I'm doing up close. I could see what you're doing up close, and we could really like share rhythm, and share our experience with rhythm together." And that's the way he is. He was such an open book and so cool with like showing things and teaching and showing us the real New Orleans funk pocket on drums. And no one could explain it or show it better than him. And I'm from New York. I'm not from New Orleans. Like, yes, I had some Meters records and some Dr. John, but I was, I'm by no means an expert in that music. But my experience is, getting to sit next to him on the drum set, and we call it the two-headed monster. We both play at the same time on one kit. And just, those experiences, like what I call widen the pocket. It makes, the New Orleans thing is loose and it's funky and it has a great taste, flavor to it that he just was able to express because he grew up there. And I learned so much from him, and he is going to be missed by the entire music community, drumming community. And he's a full musician. He's a writer. He was, played keyboards. He ran a band. He had open rehearsals with his band, so people could walk up and watch the rehearsals. Like, who does that?
And he was a drum major. The whole college thing with the drumming, he apparently changed the game with that when he was younger.
He was a marching, drum major star, and they're called cadences, and cadences are drum pieces that are specific rhythms that a lot of different bands play. And he wrote a lot of the cadences that a lot of the the funkiest bands in the South play. So that was another thing he did, another contribution he gave to the world.
He was playing with George Porter, and George Porter was guy I worked for. He was playing his wedding, and they wanted to do a Grateful Dead song, so they were listening to Fire on the Mountain. And Russell said to me the next morning, he's like, "Yeah, I stayed up all night trying to figure out what that drummer was doing on Fire on the Mountain, not realizing it was two drummers."
Yeah.
But,
It's funny. I heard the same story about John Bonham didn't realize James Brown had two drummers, and he was trying to play extra hard, But that's a classic Russ. He and I'm sure he figured it out and played all Mickey and Billy's parts.
He did. It was fantastic.
That's a great example of, like technology and not having to see everything to feel it, and creativity coming out of that, like you don't need to have it all in front of you. You're hearing it and feeling it. I love that.
It was pre-internet, so yeah, we were listening to it on the jukebox. We were listening to the Fire on the Mountain from Dead Set, I think. So it was the short little version.
Yeah, he's one of the first drummers that comes from the New Orleans funk tradition that totally embraced the jam band thing, and had a band with Mike Gordon and Oteil, those guys, and not Mike Gordon, Page and Oteil. And the Vita Blue thing, he was so excited. He'd be like, "Oh, you got to hear the new Vita Blue, man." He would always tell me about that. And that's rare. It's rare to see someone that's so entrenched in like, you know, black music and the culture of funk and soul and New Orleans traditional music to just be totally down with the jam band thing, you know, and say, hey, this is all music and it's all improvisation and it's all coming from, you know, the same place.
Right. It's the party people too. He's like, oh, the jam band people, they know how to rage all night with us.
Yeah. It wasn't like the people were partying before he got to the jam band because New Orleans is like the thing, you know,
No
it
joke,
goes
right?
off.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he just understands it all, and he had no musical prejudices, and he's kind of like my idol for that, because I can relate because I'm coming from New York and this like die hard like hip hop funk thing, but here I am in a jam band, and a few.
What do you do with the jam band label in your head? How do you think about it, feel about it?
Well, it's like what I said before. If jamming connotates improvisation, being in the moment, giving the audience an extended version of a song they like that, is maybe 4 minutes on your record, but now it's 15 minutes at the show, and it's a riveting thing, and you break it down and have moments where it's just guitar and bass or just saxophone and keys, and you give people this unique version of a song every night. If that's what that means, I'm in. I'm all the way in.
I appreciate that because the struggle is real for a number of artists who make amazing music, and they do recognize that from a fan base perspective, we show up, we're engaged, we want to be there, but it's not always easy. And I get it. Like, I totally understand that's not how people maybe would want to think of themselves, but it's definitely not going anywhere. And so I love the fact that kind of the membrane of that, whatever that term jam bands means, expands, kind of more and more all the time. It's just always morphing to kind of, I guess, absorb more music, whether they want that or not. And that's kind of what we've heard, right? Kev is like, he didn't pick it, it picked us, but now we're here and we appreciate what it can give to us as artists too.
Absolutely. A lot of people say, oh, Lettuce isn't a jam band because it's like we are improvising a lot on stage. We have the beginning melody that we introduce, and then we get to the middle of the song, and it's like, okay, guys, what are we going to do here? And that's the beautiful thing about the band, and getting that word out to the community that you're not going to see two Lettuce shows exactly the same, and you got to listen and compare the shows, and they're different, and the more people become aware of that, the more we enjoy, bringing people into the family and having them, there for that experience, that unique experience.
Who writes the set list?
We take turns. A lot. The best ones are when we all sit in the back of the bus and do a little hang and hash it out. Yeah. And get the get the set together, and it's fun. It's like making a record every night.
If you are enjoying All That Jam, please like and subscribe to our social media channels at All That Jam Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or visit our website, allthatjampod.com. Make sure to sign up for our email list and tune in every week for new episodes.
Also, look for full interviews on our YouTube channel. And remember, stay beautiful, but don't stay underground too long.